fingertips in it. He dipped his finger in it and drew a smiley face on the table. Then he took a UV lamp and shined it on the table. So he immediately put an ancient coin into the fluorescent water. After drying it out, he put it into a small delicate box and mailed anonymously to a museum curator with a passion for collecting ancient coins. And when the curator opened the box, there was an instant reaction to the dreamy. I couldn't get enough of this ancient coin. I don't know, just touch it with your fingers. The invisible phosphor on the ancient coins she has fallen into. Cage had set up. At the same time, the team disguised as tourists hold up a camera at the museum, shooting all over the place. But in reality, he's using the camera on the camera to trigger the display case underneath the heat-sensing alarm device. And with the museum's exhibit case number 8, the alarm was successfully triggered. The Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence inside was instantly compromised by a fully automated anti-theft system. By a fully automated security system. The curator received the message and arrived quickly. Opened the keypad, entered the code to the vault without even realizing it. Fluorescence on your hands has been left on the keys, waiting for the curator to enter the vault. The man took the opportunity to slip into the museum's machine room, using a small drill to open the wire guards. Carefully remove the cable with the micro camera cable into the pipe stuck in the museum's surveillance wiring. As we watched the museums, I'm looking at the museum and I've managed to break into the surveillance system. The man rushed all the cameras and put all the cameras on static. Then Cage disguised himself as a mechanic to check the anti-theft system. He wandered into the museum by manner and offered the curator with a glass of champagne. Afterwards, he intended to, while someone wants to talk to the curator, while someone wants to shake hands with the curator, took the glass out of her hand. I'm sorry, excuse me for a moment, I've got to pee. Then he turned around and left. And then Cage, when no one was looking, he poured the champagne out of his hand, took out a plastic bag, put the glasses in it. When we get back to the toilet again, he'll pull it out, the toolkit that he had hidden in advance, and took out the fingerprint extractor inside, and drop it on a big pile of medical cotton. Afterwards, you put the cotton into a plastic bag and seal it tightly. Just for a minute, fingerprints were clearly visible on the glass, so Cage put on a simulated fingerprint. He took out the glass. I got a clean fingerprint. Carefully placed the fingerprint on the finger cuff. Then he ran it through the fingerprint scanner to open the lid to the vault. Pull out the UV lamp. Put the letters with the fluorescence. Report to your partner. Partner enters the letters into the computer and soon deciphered it. The correct sequence of the vault code. And as Cage entered the code, the vault door and the door to the vault opened. He quickly walked to the display. He took off the old velvet cloth. Carefully pull out the Declaration of Independence. Roll it up. Roll it up. Roll it up and stuff it in a plastic bag. When no one's looking, wandering out of the museum, successfully flirting. The back of the Declaration of Independence. Is there a legendary treasure map on the back of the Declaration of Independence? So the curator made a deal with Cage, the $1 billion Declaration of Independence on the table, and then he pulled out a cotton swab and rubbed it repeatedly against the flesh of the lemon. When the swab is covered with lemon juice, carefully apply it to on the back of the Declaration of Independence, because men want to take advantage of the principle of acid phenotyping. Look at the Declaration of Independence. There's a hidden treasure map on the Declaration of Independence, but it wasn't until the Declaration of Independence was completely soaked on the paper with roots on the paper. That's when Cage's old man reminded him, what if we heat it up? So Cage and the woman immediately leaned down and kept huffing, and sure enough, it's heated. The back of the Declaration of Independence. There is a hidden message on the back of the Declaration of Independence. The two of them are overjoyed. Immediately get a hairdryer. They kept on blowing, but as they record the Declaration of Independence, these numbers, they're not map coordinates at all. They're more like some kind of code. So the companions passed by day and night computer decryption and eventually worked out these mathematical words. They were all in the $100 range. Design parameters. Cage immediately pulled out a $100 bill using a mineral water bottle of magnifying effect of a mineral water bottle to take a closer look. And when he saw the printed on the back of the US bill, the clock on the Independence Hall stood at 2:22 p.m. I'm going to go with my team. We went to the Independence Memorial Hall. Bird sneaks in quietly. The bell tower, which is closed to the public. At this time, the minute hand on the clock is pointing to the 22nd minute. Cage looks down. He sees the shadow of the clock tower pointing towards a high wall. So he immediately ran to the wall, and at once he saw the red bricks with the special markings. Then Cage pulled out his knife. He cuts off the cement around the red brick, with the bricks successfully extracted. Inside, there was a pair of antique double-layered glasses worth $5 million. Cage didn't have time to think about it. Immediately, he asked his teammates to unfurl the Declaration of Independence and then put on your glasses and look at it. I saw that the paper was empty. A 3D picture appeared, and by adjusting the color of the lens, there are also different hints. Before Cage could crack it, what's in them? The FBI came to the door for the theft of the Declaration of Independence, for stealing the Declaration of Independence. However, after Cage was on his way to prison, the FBI's communications equipment was jammed without warning. Then a helicopter suddenly lifted off, flying low. It blew the FBI out of the sky. At that moment, an old bald guy who didn't know when appeared beside Cage. Tell him there's someone in the water to meet you, then turn around and leave. Cage looks like he's in deep shit, but the FBI wasn't looking. He jumped into the sea with a plop, and then a frogman quickly grabbed Cage by the ankles, put him on a respirator. Then we activate the underwater thrusters. Let's get out of here. 40 centimeters long, and smashed the tombstone. When the coffin inside was lifted out, the people were surprised to find there was a coffin hidden in the back of the tomb, a dark passageway, at the end of which there's a very good chance that there's a treasure that could be as rich as our country. So Cage, under Matt's duress, Matt's coercion, Cage was the first to climb into the passageway. He pulled out the torch that was left on the wall. With a lighter, You'll be the first to climb into the passage. Ignite it, determined that the grave. I'm sure there's plenty of oxygen in the grave. But I'm sure there's plenty of oxygen in the grave. The group continued deeper, but they didn't expect. What they saw was a row of intricate wooden staircases. The stairs are attached to the rock wall. Circling down, there's no way to see the top. That's when Cage realized there was a giant chandelier in front of his chin. So he used the torch in his hand and set it on fire. By the light of the fire, they were going to continue down the stairs, unbeknownst to them. These wooden stairs, after 200 years of weathering, and eaten by termites, and termites have eaten it, can't stand it at all, the weight of so many people. Suddenly, there's an accident. Made all those present were on edge. After the crisis we just had, Cage is trying to talk Matt out of the treasure hunt, but that's a setback. Wasn't enough to dampen Matt's passion for treasure. There's no fucking way. Cage had no choice but to take the group further in, but when they reached the end of the tomb, they found that there was nothing here but some worthless frescoes. There's nothing here. Matt got pissed off. You're fucking kidding me. Tell me the real location of the treasure, or I'll kill your family. Trapped here. Matt, I'm not lying to you, but Matt obviously doesn't believe me. What Cage said. Immediately, he had his men put up a lift, pulled himself up, leaving Cage and the others here, waiting to die. I don't know. Cage is telling the truth. The treasure map leads to the final location. This is it. At this point, Cage suddenly took a liking to it, the eye of God on the mural, and followed the direction of the teardrops on the eye. I found a hidden doorway, with Cage not hesitating, pushing it down. The stone door that had been sealed for 200 years opened slowly with a plop. Cage saw it. Cautiously, he stepped through the door. Then he lifted his torch and took a look. I was shocked. I saw countless gold and silver treasures. Antique relics were piled up. The boards are full of them. The formation of the big. You can't see the top at a glance. The four of them were overjoyed. I think these things could be worth at least a fucking $600 million. At the same time, Cage suddenly realized there was a staircase on the left wall, so he followed it and opened the door. He managed to climb out of the tomb. Oh, this is a lot of money. Can't spend it all in 10 lifetimes.